Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Today we will discuss about the most important MCQ for the NOCET and the others nursing exam. First question, what is the recommended rate of the chest compression in adult CPR? Option A 60 to 80 per minute. Option B 100 to 120 per minute. Option C 120 to 140 per minute. Option D 80 to 100 per minute. The answer is option B. Highly quality CPR requires a compression rate to 100 to 120 breaths per minute to maintain the adequate perfusion. Next, what is the ideal depth of the chest compression in an adult? Option A at least 1 inches. Option B about 1.5 inches. Option C at least 2 inches. Option D about 3 inches. At least should be 2 inches for the effective perfusion. The answer will be option C. In centimeter 5 to 6 centimeter depth. The answer is option C. Next, what is the first step in the chain of survival in the BLS? The option A is defibrillation. Option B early CPR. Option C activation of EMS. Option D airway clearance. The answer is activation of EMS because promote the recognition and calling emergency services are the essential to initiate advanced care. So answer will be option C. Next, suctioning should not last more than how many seconds in the adults? Option A 5 seconds, option B 10 seconds, option C 15 seconds, option D 20 seconds. The answer is option B 10 seconds, not more than 10 seconds, not more than 10 seconds, not more than 10 seconds, because prolonged suctioning may lead to the hypoxia. Next, which sign indicates effective CPR? Option A dilated pupils. Option B chest rising. Option C carotid pulse return. Option D cyanosis. The answer is option C carotid pulse return, because a return and palpable pulse suggests the effective perfusion during the compression. So answer will be option C carotid pulse return. Next, to correct position of hands during adult CPR. Option A mid sternum. Option B above xiphoid. Option C lower half of the sternum. Option D upper third of the sternum. The answer is option C lower half of the sternum. Lower half of the sternum, because compression here the maximize blood flow and the reduce the risk of injury. Next, the most appropriate size suction catheter for an ET tube is option A equal to the tube size. Option B double the tube size. Option C half the tube size. Option D 2/3 of the tube size. The answer is option D 2/3 of the tube size, because this prevents the trauma while ensuring educating the suctioning. So answer will be option D. Next, a nurse inserts an ET tube and hears no breath sounds on the left side. What is the most likely cause? Option A pneumothorax. Option B, tube insert too far into the right main bronchus. Option C, obstructed ET tube. Option D, bronchospasm. The answer is option B, tube inserted too far into the right main bronchus, because ET tubes often enter the right bronchus if the advance too far. Next, while suctioning a tracheostomy, which technique is the most essential? Option A, intermittent suction with the rotation. Option B, constant suction during the insertion. Option C, continuous irrigation. Option D, deep insertion into the lungs. The answer is option A, intermittent suction with the rotation, because this minimizes the mucosal damage and improve the secretion removal. Next, how often should a cuff pressure in an ET tube be checked? Option A, every 4 hours. Option B, every 12 hours. Option C, once daily. Option D, before the suctioning. The answer is option A, every 4 hours the ET tube should be checked, because to prevent the complication like the tracheal necrosis or the aspiration. So answer will be option A. Next question, which method confirms the endotracheal tube placement most accurately? Option A, chest rise observation. Option B, auscultation. Option C, capnograph. Option D, fogging in the tube. The answer is option C, capnography. Capnography is the answer, option C, because end-tidal CO2 monitoring is the gold standard for the confirming test. And if there is the option chest X-ray, this is not the confirmatory test, because the capnography is the most accurately placement for the endotracheal tube. Next, complication of deep tracheostomy suctioning includes option A, hypercapnia. Option B, hypoxemia. Option C, hypertension. Option D, bradycardia. The answer is option B, hypoxemia, because deep suctioning can remove the oxygen along with the secretion. When you are doing the deep suctioning more than 10 seconds or more deeply, it will remove the secretion along with the oxygen, so it can be happen hypoxemia. Next, the emergency equipment always kept near the tracheostomy patient includes option A, ammo-bag, spare trach tube, obturator. Option B, laryngoscope. Option C, foil catheter. Option D, chest tube. The answer is option A, ammo-bag, spare trach and obturator should be kept on the tracheostomy patient table, because these are the crucial for airway re-establishment during the emergency. If suddenly the tracheostomy tube was removed, then ammo-bag should be given immediately for the reoxygenated to the patient. Next, tracheostomy cuff inflammation is needed. Option A, only while eating. Option B, always. Option C, during the mechanical ventilation. Option D, unconscious patient. The answer is option C, during the mechanical ventilation because prevents air leaks and the aspiration during positive pressure ventilation. Next, CPR compression to breath ratio for a single rescuer adult is option A 5:1, option B 15:2, option C 13:2, option D 20:1. The answer is option C 30:2. 30:2. Option C is the correct answer. Standard for the adult single rescuer CPR according to AHA American Heart Association guidelines 30:2. So answer will be option C. Next, the nurse suspects accidental decannulation of the tracheostomy. What is the first action? Option A, call the doctor. Option B, insert a new tracheostomy tube. Option C, ventilate with the ammo bag via stomach. Option D, suction the stomach. The answer is option C, ventilate with the ammo bag through the stoma, because ventilation with the ammo bag priority is to maintain the oxygenate immediately to the patient. So we are giving to the patient ammo bag through the stoma. Next, what should be the assessed before suctioning a patient? Option A, age and weight. Option B, oxygen saturation. Option C, heart rate. Option D, cuff pressure. The answer is option B, oxygen saturation, because to determine the need and tolerance of the suctioning, how much oxygen need for the patient and how much they can tolerate. So we checked before the suctioning oxygen saturation. Next, suction pressure for adults is said to be option A 20 to 40, option B 60 to 80, option C 100 to 120 mm of Ag, option D 100 to 150 mm of Ag. The answer is option D, 100 to 100 mm of Ag for the adult. For the child, 100 to 120 for the neonate, 60 to 80 mm of Ag. This is the accurate pressure for the suctioning without damaging the tissue, removing the secretion. Next, indication for suctioning includes option A, increase the appetite, option B, fever, option C, rhonchi on auscultation, option D, bradycardia. The answer is option C, rhonchi on the auscultation, because suggested accumulation of the secretions in the airway. Option C is the correct answer. Next, primary purpose of the cuff in ET tube or trachea tube is to allow the fontanation. Option B, prevent air leakage. Option C, prevent the dislodgement. Option D, prevent the aspiration. The answer is purpose of the cuff, ET cuff, to prevent the aspirations. The inflated cuff acts as a seal to protect the airway. Next, a client has a thick tracheal secretion. The nurse should first check increase the suctioning frequency. Option B, instill the normal saline. Option C, increase the fluid intake. Option D, use the hypertonic saline. The answer is option C, increases the fluid intake. because hydration helps the liquefy the secretion naturally. So answer will be option C. Next, which is not a complication of a tracheostomy? Option A, tracheal stenosis. Option B, pneumothorax. Option C, vocal cord paralysis. Option D, hyperglycemia. The answer is option D, hyperglycemia, because it is not related to the tracheostomy procedure. Next, which of the following is a late sign of hypoxia? Option A, restlessness. Option B, tachypnea. Option C, cyanosis. Option D, confusion. The early sign of hypoxia is tachycardia, and late sign is the cyanosis, because cyanosis indicates the severe or the prolonged oxygen deprivation. So answer will be option C, cyanosis. Next, which technique is essential after the suctioning tracheostomy? Option A, mouth suction. Option B, sterile dressing. Option C, Ryan's catheter with the sterile saline. Option D, administer antibodies. The answer is option C, Ryan's the catheter with the sterile saline. Option C is the correct answer. To prevent the catheter blockage and the maintenance the sterility. So answer will be option C. Next, an early complication of tracheostomy includes option A, tracheal stenosis. Option B, granuloma formation. Option C, hemorrhage. Option D, tracheomalacia. The answer is option C, hemorrhage, because bleeding is a common early complication for the post procedure. So answer will be option C. Next, CPR on a patient with the tracheostomy should be given via option A, mouth to mouth. Option B, nose. Option C, tracheostomy tube. Option D, esophageal tube. The answer is option C, tracheostomy tube. This is the airway access for the ventilation. So we are giving through the tracheostomy tube. So answer is option C. Next, what indicates ineffective CPR? Option A, pink mucosa. Option B, palpable femoral pulse. Option C, no chest movement. Option D, reactive pupils. The answer they asked, what is indicative ineffective? So the answer will be no chest movement, because effective compression causes the visible chest rise. Here they told no chest movement. The answer will be option C. Next, ET tube placement can lead to which complication? Option A, renal failure. Option B, vocal cord injury. Option C, stroke. Option D, hyperglycemia. The answer should be option B, vocal cord injury, because the tube may damage the cord if improperly placed or the removed. So the answer will be option B, vocal cord injury. Next, the nurse should stop suctioning if the patient develops coughing. Option B, bradycardia. Option C, tachycardia. Option D, mucus production. The answer should be option B, bradycardia, because bradycardia indicates the vagal stimulations. Suction must be stopped immediately when it will show the bradycardia. So answer will be option B. Next, what is the correct oxygen flow rate for the suctioning? Option A, 1 to 2 liter per minute. Option B, 3 to 5 liter per minute. Option C, 10 to 15 liter per minute. Option D, 20 to 30 liter per minute. The answer should be option C, 10 to 15 per liter per minute. This flow helps the pre-oxygenated and maintain the saturations. Thank you everyone. Please like, share and subscribe our channel to grow and give the more content through you. Please like, share and subscribe.